So this is LeetCode 1675, determine if two strings are close. This is part of the LeetCode 75 interview prep, and it's a medium. So two strings are considered close if you can obtain one from the other using the following operations. The first one is you can swap any two existing characters. The second is you can transform every occurrence of one existing character into another existing character, and do the same with the other character. So each of these strings are only letters and they're lowercase. And you can use each of these operations as many times as necessary. These operations are confusing and oddly worded, but they basically mean that you're checking a string is close if you have the same letters in each of the words and the same frequency of the letters. So same letters, frequency of letters. So if you have, let's use example 3, you have C, A, B, B, A, and then you have A, B, B, C, C, C. So this top string has A's, it has B's, and it has C's. This bottom string has A's, B's, and C's. Because of that, this top case passes. Now the second case is the same frequency of letters, which the frequency would be, here we have one C, you have two A's, and you have two B's. Or three B's, I wrote it wrong. And three B's. But here you have one A, two B's, and three C's. So the frequency 1, 2, 3 is the same for each of these. So that means that this is a good test case. So one strategy could be using a hash map, but it wouldn't really be efficient. And I went down that path and it took me forever and it basically sucked. I'd say the best way to do it efficiently is creating a standard array that is the size of the alphabet, so size 26, and you're going to create one of them for each of these words. And doing so, we're going to be able to basically iterate through each of these words, and each index is going to be the index for that letter. So index 0 be A, index 1 would be B, and so on. So first we're going to iterate through the first word. And then we're just going to add it to the list. So to add it to the list, we're actually going to do minus the character A, which is a weird thing, but basically we're getting the character I. So if the word is ABC, you're getting the character A, and you're subtracting it from A. But you're subtracting it from the character A, which is the ASCII, basically, value of that. So if you're here at this table, we have a letter A, and A1, this indexes are integers. So it's converting all these, it's casting these to an integer. So we're basically casting the character to an integer, and when you do that, it makes an ASCII code for it. So the ASCII number for A, I don't think this is the actual number, but let's just say 61 is for A. Right here, the words.char at I is going to give us 61. And then this is the character A, which we just checked is 61. So that's going to equal the index 0. So if this was C minus A, it's going to equal 63 minus 61, which equals 2. And that would be the index for that as well. So that's how we're going to chart them or input them into each of our arrays. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other string. So now we have two arrays full of characters, and we're adding to each of the characters as well. So we're going to have arrays, and we're basically going to check. We're going to check through each of these. We're gonna sort to get the top with the same frequency of letters to get this test case. We're going to basically sort each of these arrays and see if they're equal, and that'll pass this one. And then the same letters, we're going to check that each index has a number, because if each index has a number, that means that it has a letter that we're going to check if the index of word 1, we're going to check if each index of both strings are populated or not populated, and that'll pass this test as well. So we're going to do for, we're going to iterate basically through the array. If A2 greater than 0, A2 it's basically checking if one of the indexes, it's doing the test case we just said. It's going to return false. So it's checking if A2 has something at the index I, which it has something if it's greater than 0, and the other word, A1, that index is less than or equal to 0, which means it doesn't have a word or a letter. It's going to return false. Then we're going to do the same thing for the other one. So this passes the test case of the same letters. Now at the end, we need to basically sort both of these arrays, because if it hasn't returned false, or if we're getting to this spot, that means that all the letters are the same. So now we need to check if the frequency of the letters are the same, which to do so, we're going to basically sort each of these arrays and see if they're equal. And if they're equal, we're going to return true. So we're going to do arrays.sort, then arrays sort. And then we're just going to return this test, which is, we're going to use the arrays collection or library. And this should work. If I have no typos, it should work. And yeah, so this is a big O of n, which is efficient, and it solves the question adequately.